Welcome to Betamax Rewind, the only podcast that poops its pants just to have something good to talk about. Keep telling yourself that's why it happened. Again. Here are two guys that are sporting some sweet dick brooms after watching a Burt Reynolds movie. Matt and Doug.
I can't believe she actually agreed to read that one.
Dick broom?
Yeah.
Have you ever heard that term before?
I had, and I was pretty sure I knew what it was, but I did a Urban Dictionary search just to make sure
Okay.
I was aware of what it was.
All right, it's just a mustache.
Well, it's a mustache, and it's usually associated with, blowing
Suck
a dude.
dick. You're right.
Yeah, exactly. So,
All right.
so ready to get into housekeeping right away since there is a bunch.
Oh, really? I don't have that much. But you said lots of mistakes, so I'm sure it's going to be Matt coming down on Doug week again.
You would be correct.
You wonder why I have a poor self-image.
And now, it's time for podcast housekeeping.
Oh, there's plenty of bus chucking to go around from last week.
All right, well, chuck away.
So last week during the podcast, Doug started railing into me about the fact that I had spoiled something. And I was so flustered by the fact that Doug was criticizing me that I completely missed the fact that Free Eyes Only had a Rotten Tomatoes score of 73 with critics and 64 with audiences, and it grossed $195 million on a $28 million budget.
Yeah, I forgot about that you did not read the Rotten Tomatoes score. But you did spoil something. You ruined it, Matt.
Okay. I had mentioned something about drinking from a glass and not from a can, and you did not know what I was talking about.
Was that 2 girls, 1 cup?
No. I said that I couldn't drink directly from the bottle or the can because that would make me a savage. And that was referring to something that you had said, and you had no clue what I was talking about.
I kind of guess it was something about, because I pour my beer into a cup and you just drink directly from the can, and I referred to you as a savage for that a long time ago.
Well, let's take a step back and actually take a listen to that.
Okay.
I am drinking all of my drinks. I alternate between my because I was inverted cup and my Betamax Rewind cup as my choice for actually drinking from them, because since you said you have to drink out of a vessel rather than a bottle, otherwise you are a savage. So
did I say that? When did I say that?
This is actually just the reminder of what you had said last week, but this is the original one.
And I'm hoping that if we continue this, that I will continue to have a different IPA for each show. So we're going to go ahead and get that started. Tonight I am drinking a Pseudo Sioux Pale Ale made by Toppling Goliath out of... Is this the very first episode? Illinois.
Yes, it is.
It's 16 ounces. All right. And I'm not a Neanderthal. I don't drink beer right out of the can, so I do have to pour it into a glass. A Neanderthal, not a savage.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. I did not remember something from 65 episodes ago. My bad.
Okay. Is that it? Is that it on that front?
On that one, yes.
Oh, okay. We talked about Deep Blue Sea, and I said that's with the lovely Connie Nielsen, and you're like, no, it's not. I don't even know who Connie Nielsen is. So then I looked it up, and it's actually Saffron Burrows, and I'm like, man, does she look like Connie Nielsen? And then the next day, you sent me something of, what was it, on Reddit or something, of some guy railing on about how the two of them look exactly alike, and he can't tell who's who.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, they do look a lot alike.
I was trying to build you up, Doug.
Okay.
Just so I can tear you down now.
Connie Nielsen was just in something, and now I can't remember what it was, but she's older and still looks fantastic. She gets naked in Devil's Advocate with Keanu Reeves.
Okay, yep, sure. So what is your go-to, has this actress been naked site? Mr. Skin?
I don't go to Mr. Skin. It's just kind of, have I seen it? Yes. Were there boobs? Yes. That's my go-to.
Oh, so I actually go to Celebrity Movie Archive. It's awesome.
Okay.
And I will actually stop watching a movie to check that out. So.
Okay. Excellent.
But
or, I could always go to X Hamster and just type in the actress's name, and usually there is a clip associated with that actress if she has,
What is this X Hamster? Never heard of that.
You've never heard of that?
No.
Okay. That's right. You pay for all your porn.
What is this porn you're speaking of? I had talked about how it was not actually Sean Connery in the barrel sequence for the first several Bond films. It was actually Bob Simmons who was the stunt double, and he did it because it was all in silhouette. And I think it was the 4th or 5th Connery Bond was the first time he actually did that.
Okay, so not Carol Channing.
Not Carol Channing, and also not Stockard Channing either.
Okay. I have a question for you about last week.
Okay.
Okay, so you pooped your pants.
Yes.
All right, and then you said, your missus didn't know about it, but you probably will figure it out because you're doing laundry at 1 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
Okay. Do you just take your shit off and just throw it right in the washer, or do you hose it down or put it in the slop sink?
Oh, no, it's completely hosed out. And
okay, all right.
And if it had been solid, it wouldn't have been as big of an issue.
You would have just rolled it into the toilet off your underwear?
Yeah, you kind of could have done that, and then, maybe just dab it down a little bit with maybe some stain stick or something. No, but This looked like a goulash in my pants. So
a poop goulash.
So you got to let me do the next 4 together because they are all tied together.
Okay.
I said self-conscious instead of subconscious, conscience. Mm-hmm. I said hyperbolic chamber instead of hyperbaric chamber.
Yeah, I was not going to say anything about that.
I said that Lillehammer is in Norway.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's wrong also.
Yeah, it's in Sweden. And the thing that's not my fault though, because that comes from this.
Dr. Haseldorf, what can we expect in the next few hours?
Well, Gail, by this time, the hostages should be going through the early stages of the Helsinki syndrome.
As in Helsinki, Sweden.
Finland.
You know what that's from, right?
That's from Die Hard.
Right. And I could not come up with the name of what a bobsled track is called. You know what that is?
Shoot? Is it a shoot?
No, it's actually called a bobsled track.
Oh, hey, how about that?
So that section was all about...
Mad fucked up.
See, told you I'd be throwing myself under the bus.
Yes. Last week, my question was, what don't you like about yourself? And you're like, I don't like my body. I'm getting bitch tits.
What am I, like Schwarzenegger there?
Bob had bitch tits.
Fight Club, yeah.
Yep.
So, I don't know if you remember this or not, but there was a couple weeks ago, we had this whole conversation in the housekeeping segment where you said that when you are sure of something, you will defend it because you know that you're right. And you won't do it unless you know that you're right. Do you remember that segment?
I do, yes.
Okay, so let me see if I can actually get this right. There's 3 clips here that are tied together. I couldn't actually pull that clip of you saying that because that's in the part that I lost.
Uh-huh. Well, you could have been like, your Doug mocking voice and just re-recorded that.
Well, I wasn't even really planning on doing that because when I defend myself, I know that I'm right. And I won't defend myself unless I'm 100% positive that I'm right.
Yeah. I didn't exactly say it like that, and I didn't sound like a retard.
But I got 4 clips here in quick succession.
Does one of them have to do with the depth that they were at in the mini-sub?
And there's a very specific thing about how deep the wreck of the St. George is. How deep is it?
586 feet.
84.
Are you sure?
Pretty sure.
584 feet.
Yeah, I went back and rewatched that to make sure. That's in my notes.
Okay, you know what the other one is?
No.
And Columbo is with the Countess. And who is the Countess?
I think it's the Duchess.
Oh, is it the Duchess? I thought it was Countess.
It's the Duchess. No, it's the Duchess.
I'm the Countess Lisa.
Hey!
So, you gotta say that.
Doug fucked up.
Uh-huh.
Okay. I can keep going. I got a ton more.
Sure. Well, okay. We talked about when Blofeld was dropped into the smokestack by the helicopter skid, that he wouldn't have gone straight down, that he would have kind of ping-ponged off the side. And I said, it's kind of like Homer when he had to jump Springfield Canyon and he missed. And it sounded like this.
Sorry, finish.
Come on. You can do it. Okay.
All right. So there was a question of what was being harvested from the trees.
Mm-hmm.
Olives.
Oh, okay.
And I can't believe I forgot to mention this. There was actually a pretty big controversy over the poster for Your Eyes Only.
Okay.
And if you know what the poster actually looks like, it is Bond in the distance, and he is standing underneath this woman's legs.
Ah, yes.
And the controversy was that there was too much buttock showing.
Okay.
And the way that they actually did that when they shot that poster was they had the model wear the swimsuit backwards. So the front was in the back, so it covered up less ass cheek.
Nice.
Okay.
It's a good look.
Yeah. Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol was directed by Brad Bird, who has been canceled.
Brad Bird was canceled?
Yes.
Why?
Same reason as everybody else. He's a shitbag to women.
Oh, okay. He did the 2 Incredible movies.
Right.
Yes.
I forgot to mention that my class reunion was before the podcast last week. It was a lot of fun, so it was good seeing everybody.
Oh, okay. All right.
The original director for Your Eyes Only was going to be Peter Hunt, Michael Hunt's brother.
Okay.
But he was busy directing Death Hunt.
Yes.
I had said something about the bird in For Your Eyes Only also appeared in a different Bond film. That bird was also in The Living Daylights. Mm-hmm. It was a different character, though, but it was still portrayed by the same bird.
Big Bird?
No.
Toucan Sam?
No. Any other famous birds you want to throw out there quick?
Oh, God. Foghorn Leghorn?
The hotel in For Your Eyes Only was not actually the hotel from The Shining. John Locke from Lost was not named after the character in this movie.
Yeah.
I had estimated the height of this mountain at 800 feet. Mm-hmm. Doug had estimated it at 76 feet.
No, I said it was not. I said it was taller than that, but when they opened up the little door to send the basket down, they're super close. And I don't know if he had to scale the other side and then go across to get to that basket house, maybe.
But it was actually over 1,300 feet high.
1,300 feet.
Yes.
How about that?
I had said that this was the second film where the main villain was killed by someone other than Bond. In Thunderball, Domino kills Emilio Largo, who also, by the way, following up on something you said, is the Bond villain that had an eye patch.
Ah, okay.
And then I have one left, and you have one that I actually pulled from you, so you can either do it or I can do it.
I don't know what the one is that you pulled for me.
Family Guy, Shawshank.
Oh, yeah, I don't even remember the context behind that.
I don't either, but this is what it is.
Okay.
What the warden and his boys didn't realize was that Andy Dufresne had escaped from Shawshank Prison the night before. Andy crawled to freedom through 500 yards of foulness I can't even imagine.
Okay, I think we get
Andy Dufresne, the man who crawled through a river of poop and came out clean on the other side. Why he chose Enchilada Night, I will never know.
Yeah, that's the best line of the whole thing.
I think it was when James Bond was hammering in the pitons.
Okay, yes.
And he was hoping that there was a Van Halen concert playing above.
Yeah, that sounds correct.
Okay, something like that.
And then we actually, and by we, I mean I had screwed up at one point during the podcast, and we had a bathroom break, and I forgot to hit record when we came back, and then after the issue last time of me recreating it, we just restarted. Mm-hmm. But I actually have that clip.
Oh.
And it's not long, but I'm going to play it because there's actually something funny that happens in it. Okay.
All right.
Let's see, where are you? Okay, hammering and spikes. Okay, that would make noise. Okay. But Bond eventually gets up to the top, and there's a goon there.
Yes, he basically kicks him in the face with his foot. Well, that's how you would kick somebody in the face, right?
Yeah. Well, you know, it's harder to kick with your hand.
Yes.
Did you watch Community? Anyway, that goes on. I just wanted the kick with your hand thing. So
yes. All right.
That's all I got for housekeeping.
That's all I've got.
What have you been up to? I want you to tell me, hey man, what the fuck is new? I know you can tell me.
Not a whole lot, because I've been...
Work. Hello, boys. Have a good night's rest. I missed you.
Yeah, pressed for time this week quite a bit, but I did see a customer naked.
Okay.
It was a dude.
Okay, tell me more.
As I was spraying outside, all of a sudden I saw a flash of nudity go in front of a window, and I don't know what he was doing in his bedroom, but he ran into the bathroom, and I couldn't tell if it was a male or a female, because I wear tinted goggles, and when it's humid, those goggles tend to fog up a little bit, and it was humid that day. And as I then, knocked on the door, the missus answered, and she goes, "Oh, you saw Brian in the flesh, didn't you?" I'm like, "Yeah, I guess. Okay." So that was a dude that I saw, but that's not the first time that I saw a customer naked. I was at a customer's house. It was their very first time I was spraying, and this lady's like, "Oh yeah, my daughter, she gets a bunch of these box elder bugs around the window. Can you go upstairs and spray around the window?" "Yeah, no problem. Is there anybody up there?" "No." And I go up there, and the door is open, and I walk in, and there's kind of like this little cove area in her bedroom, and there she was.
Okay.
Naked. I mean, she covered up her boobs with her hands right away, and then turned around. I'm like, "Oh my God, I'm sorry. It was really embarrassing, and the fact that she was underage didn't help.
Yeah, but that's so that eliminates any additional questions.
Yeah.
But have you ever had that, like outside of work, just had that accidental real nudity happen?
Not really. No, I don't believe I have.
So you've never had the accidental like down blouse when someone's just bending over and they're not wearing a bra?
Yes, yeah, I've had that. Those are nice.
Yeah, that's why I have a dog. I mean, dogs come in handy for that a couple times at the bar.
"Oh, can I pet your dog?" "Well, sure."
Absolutely.
Sure you can. He really likes it when you get down low. So,
no, but keep your back straight. Keep your back straight.
Yes. But I mean, I've had customers that have told me, Sheila or Joey are sleeping. You can go in there, and in fact, if you could wake them up, that would be great. I'm like, "The fuck is wrong with you? Do you want me to go
wake them up?"
You can. Yes, I've been asked to do that before, but I'm not. I'm not going. If they're sleeping, I'm not going into their bedroom. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's a little much. I would think.
Oh, but then I have like gone down into the basement and flipped the light on, and there's somebody like crashed out on a couch underneath the blanket. It's like, "Hey man, how's it going?"
Was it a flop house?
Yeah.
No, but you said you were really tired.
So with baseball, we have seven teams in our league, which means our Thursday night game, our team and another team got chosen to have a play-in game to see if we would be in the tournament today. Okay?
Sure.
First and second graders, we have to do a play-in game on Thursday night. And it was a fucking nail-biter. And all season long, they tell you, don't keep score, it's just for fun, play kind of loosey-goosey with the rules. And now all of a sudden there's this expectation of no longer playing loosey-goosey with the rules. You've got to play by the rules, and you've got to keep score. And it was mildly stressful, but super cool because it really came down. And here's where I'm going to bore the shit out of you, because me telling you about my kids' baseball tournament is like me telling you about my fantasy football lineup or my golf game.
Okay, you golf?
No.
Okay.
No, I don't, but it's, semantics. It's just basically...
Semantics?
Nobody wants... Semantics, yes. Semantics would be what? Nothing?
It's a Jewish thing, I think.
Is it? Okay.
Yes.
Nobody wants to hear about your golf game or your fantasy football lineup. Really. But it was a nail-biter because, we got through 3 innings and we were tied 11 apiece. Okay, we got to play an extra inning. 1, 2, 3 out. 1, 2, 3 out. Okay, we got to play another inning. And now we're at the point where the 2 other teams who are supposed to play on that field and all of the grandmas and grandpas and moms and dads are waiting and now watching us. And they were the visiting team, so we got them out 1, 2, 3 out. and then scored a run and won the game. So yay, we get into the tournament. Now here's the thing that sucks is because now it's down to a 6-team format, 2 of the teams get a bye. So we had to play at 9 o'clock to make it into the 10:30 game to play one of the top seeded teams.
Sure.
So we're tired, but we are warmed up, and I kept the kids in the same position in the same batting lineup. But I mean, we smoked the other team in the first game pretty good. We got to the second game, and it was a nail biter. We were up by 4, and got to the the bottom of the inning or the top of the inning? That's the end of the inning.
Bottom.
The bottom, and they scored 5 runs and won. I mean, it was just like long hit after long hit after long hit. And part of me was worried a little bit because there's another team that was playing on the other field, and everybody kind of knows about this coach. He's a real douche canoe. He yells at his kids. He sends runners when they shouldn't be sent. He's super aggressive, and everybody knows about this guy. And all the teams that we were playing, you kind of build up a rapport with the coaches, and you're talking to them while you're out in the field. And we all kind of talk about this guy, and we're going to have to talk to him. But while that was going on, we could hear him yelling and screaming in the other field. And he said something to one of his players, and one of the coaches on his own team said, "Hey, man, you got to chill out a little bit." And this guy was like, "Hey, I don't want to do that right here. You got something to say to me? You tell me after the game." And everybody could hear what was going on. And he got called out, and he was silent the rest of the game. Now, thankfully, that team lost. I feel bad for the kids because they were a good team, but karma's a bitch, man. But, it was super cool because you got to see the progression of these kids throughout the course of the season. You start off just horrible. The fielding is bad, the batting is bad, but as we got down to these tournament games, you really kind of saw the cohesion of the team come together, and they were getting it, and they understood, throwing a batter out, and it was cool, man. It was a real good experience. I can't wait for next year.
Okay.
But that's why I'm tired, because I had way too much whiskey last night. My missus kept me up a little bit later than I wanted to, and then so I had a little bit of a headache. But then I was on my feet from 8:30 until noon coaching, and that stress and that constant rah, 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 let's go, let's go. I mean, I can even feel my throat dry and it's a little hoarse. It's wearing on you. So, but I had a cup of coffee and a beer's coming up, and I think I'll be okay.
Okay.
So
that it?
That's it. Wasn't that exciting? Aren't you glad you asked?
Yeah. So I went out golfing this morning, and I was on the first hole. And the first hole was 400 yards, dogleg to the right.
Oh, okay.
And I was talking to the guy I was playing with. I'm like, do you think I should try to lay up, or should I try to use my natural slice with the driver to hook around this? And we kind of went back and forth. And he's like, well, maybe you should lay up, use like a 4-iron and just lay up at the turn. And so we talked about it. And then I went out, and then I had this tee, and this tee, I go to put my tee in, the tee breaks. So then I got to go back to my fucking bag. I got to, actually, you don't care about hearing about my golf game.
No. How about your fantasy football line?
Yeah, we did my fantasy football draft last night. So
who'd you get in the first round, Matt?
So I have 2 kids, and my youngest is a smartass, and he's always just trying to bust my balls. And when he has friends over, it's worse because he's going to be the man and he's going to talk shit to his dad, right?
Sure.
And he was wearing a shirt that I thought was questionable. Let's just leave it at that. I thought his shirt was questionable.
You're not going to say what you got to say what it is.
I thought it was a little bit pink.
It's not pink. It's salmon.
Okay, it was a little bit salmon. It doesn't say better.
I wear polos for my job, and 2 of my polos are salmon. And
this isn't a polo. This is a muscle shirt. Let's cut off.
A muscle shirt. Okay. Does he have a feathery boa wrapped around his neck?
So I was questioning his choice of attire, and he said, "You can't talk to me. You had a perm in high school."
Yes, you did.
And I said, "I had a girlfriend in high school," and his friends were there, and I just said, "Mic drop," and he had nothing left to say after that.
Okay.
So besides that, I've actually been doing some prep for the trip next week. just because, I have to get all my shit ready ahead of time because I have to leave the house before 5 to catch my flight on Thursday.
This is the annual where I pick up a homeless person at the Firestone.
Yes.
Yes, because that's what you look like with your big gray beard and your shitty knapsack and your New Balance shoes. You should have a sign that says "We'll suck cock for food."
Yeah, and then I end up in the Dane County Jail. I don't think so.
Yeah.
But so that's taking up some time, and then I did the grocery shopping today, as I do every Saturday. But by
the way, I do have your pillow and your blankie and your sheets.
Okay,
and they were washed. We washed them when I get home.
And my cup holder's still up at the cabin.
Okay.
And I think my Aqua shoes are still up in the...
Just buy a new pair of shoes. Every year you're like, these are the worst shoes ever. And I'm like, dude, just buy it. We will stop at Walmart or at Farm and Fleet, and you can buy like a $15 pair of like Teva wannabes. Okay? How about that?
We'll discuss it.
I will buy them for you, Matt.
But I was at the grocery store today, and Jen makes out the list, and then I buy what's on the list. I've talked about this ad nauseum. But
is her kiss on the list?
No, it's not. Thanks, Hall & Oates.
Uh-huh.
But that reminds, there was something, and it doesn't matter. But we've been using the same list forever, and she will just cross off anything that's on the regular list that we don't need, and then she will write anything additional. And this is on a tablet that has a stylus, and I've had this for probably almost 10 years, so I've gotten my money's worth. It's the only thing I use it for.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm in the store, and I'm going to get eggs, and the stylus drops, and it drops underneath the shelf where the eggs are sitting, and it's got like a little tiny little grate, and I can't get my fingers in there and I don't have huge fingers, but it's, I'm an adult. So I had to go find somebody that had a kid.
Oh, God.
It's like, can I borrow your kid for a second? And it's like, is this guy a pedophile or what? But the kid actually made it worse because the kid actually flicked it and then it fell. And I had to get somebody that worked there to actually take apart the shelving to get my stylus back.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And that's about it for me.
Okay. All right.
Ready for me to get another one wrong?
Yes.
Matt and Doug are at it again. Guess that sound and you are awesome. What movie will it be from? I really want to know.
I really think you're going to get one this week. And it is not from a movie that we've done, but it's from a movie that we've pulled a sound from.
Okay. Well, they're short. I know that. I don't know what they
Yes.
are, but they are short. Hopefully I put them on here right. Total Recall?
Oh, you're so close. Play the reveal.
How you doing? Bitches leave.
Oh, fuck. RoboCop.
Yeah.
I think the Bitches Leave we've actually played before.
Have we?
Dumbass. Yeah, that's Red Foreman.
That's Red Foreman with his gigantic forehead.
Yes. Oh,
Yeah.
there was... actually, what the hell was it that we were...
I don't know.
No, I referred to someone as having a 6 head.
Was that Red Foreman?
No, because he's bald. This was on some show that we were watching, and I don't remember what it was. But
Chris Matthews?
I'm thirsty, so.
I am too.
Beverage for the show. What fills up Matt and Doug? Beverage for the show. They are thirsty.
I'm back. I'm back, baby.
That was a shorter one. Your week, you go first.
I am drinking a Fantasy Factory Indian Pale Ale. It's got a unicorn with red eyes blowing fire out of its nose with a cat riding the back of it that has the Rambo red headband, and he's got a gold Desert Eagle 50 caliber pistol. It's like the greatest can ever. And it's a big one. It's a pint. So 19.2 ounces. That's a big beer. But it's a little bit lower octane. I've had it before. It's been many moons ago that I have had it. Such exciting podcast listening to me blather on. Yummy. It's good. Good stuff.
Okay. I am drinking a Chi-Chi's. Oh, just kidding. I am drinking a Smirnoff Ice Pink Lemonade.
Okay. That reminds me, I've got a bunch of PBR in my refrigerator from last year. Would you like me to bring it up for you?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. That way you don't have to buy it.
I mean, how much is a lot?
At least a 6-pack.
Okay. Yeah, I'll take an inventory before we get to Viking.
Okay.
Or when we get to Viking and figure it out from there.
Yeah.
But this is good. You know, it's
okay. All right.
Kind of foo-foo-ish. So,
okay.
Ready to get into the movie itself?
Yeah, this is not my finest work. It's really not. Like I said, very, very pressed for time. And of course, after I recorded this and today I was humming an Eddie Money song, and I'm like, oh, fuck, this would have been perfect for it.
Do you pick a song and then figure out a way to do the song, or do you have like words and then try to find the song that it works with?
No, I'll pick a song. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll just go to YouTube and just type in 80s karaoke and see what comes up and try and play something with it. This one I came up with in my head while I was driving. So, like I said, not my finest work.
Okay, let's take a listen. Big intro.
Burt Reynolds and Dom DeLuise, they are dressed as EMTs. Dean Martin and Sammy D, two chicks in a Lamborghini. Got an NFL quarterback and a stuttering country star. You've got the dude who plays James Bond. They are cannonballers.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We are doing Cannonball Run, released June 19th, 1981. Made $72 million on an $18 million budget. Had a 30% Rotten Tomato critic score. Matt, how did it get 30%?
It's a miracle. It's a miracle.
Or
it's a miracle.
Either or.
And 61% Rotten Tomato audience score. Directed by Hal Needham. Worked mostly as a stuntman, but directed Smokey and the Bandit 1 and 2, Hooper, Cannonball Run 2, and Stroker Ace. It spawned the 1984 sequel, Cannonball 2, which I don't think I've ever seen all the way through.
It's better than this one.
Really?
Yeah, that's a fucking very, very low bar.
Okay. It starred Burt Reynolds as J.J. McClure, best known for being in all of Hal Needham's films.
Okay.
Farrah Fawcett as Pamela, best known for having the poster that gave most boys wet dreams in the 1970s. Dom DeLuise as Victor, best known for Johnny Dangerously, Robin Hood, Men in Tights, and History of the World Part 1. So he's very much typecast as a silly guy. Roger Moore as Seymour, best known as James Bond in the James Bond movies. So now it's time to play. This week it's a layup.
I almost got this wrong.
Welcome back. You've been on this show before. Welcome back. How many times does this make it?
It was so obvious and I almost got it wrong. And the only reason I didn't get it wrong is because of a thing that Jen said to me while we were watching this. But the answer is 2.
Mm-hmm.
It's Roger Moore, second time. First time was last week in For Your Eyes Only. And Adrienne Barbeau, second time, Escape from New York.
Yes, very good.
Yeah.
This movie was originally planned as an action movie starring Steve McQueen, but after his death, it went to Burt Reynolds and became a comedy. So, where did you see this movie?
I saw it, I'm assuming, on Select TV. I did not see it in the theater.
Okay, so I saw it in the theater at Scotland Cinema.
Cinemas of Sound?
In Oconomowoc. And we went to it, and we waited in line for, I don't know, a half an hour. And when we got up to the counter, we were the first ones told, sorry, folks, sold out. So we went home, and then I think we pre-bought our tickets for the next show, if you could even do that at that time, and then went home, and then came back and saw it in the theater. And then, God, I couldn't tell you the second time that I saw it, whether it was rented or on HBO or what have you. I don't know.
What year was this?
81.
Okay. I saw Jedi at Scotland, and I remember those cold tile hallways outside of the theater and just sitting in line for hours and hours to get in to see Jedi. And you couldn't purchase advance tickets then, so there's no way I think you could have back in, earlier than that.
Okay. All right. So, yeah, I mean, we probably just came back and saw it and got there earlier than we normally would have. Okay, so time to start talking about the movie.
Yes.
It opens up with your classic 20th Century Fox logo, but this one seems a little bit different. It looked like it was very cartoonishy, and then this happened.
As we're watching this, I turned to Jen. I said, "Uh-oh."
I know, that same year. I said the same. I was like, "Oh God, this is going to be horrible, isn't it?" Of course, yeah. The cops are like, that was a cop car chasing a Corvette or something,
like that. I don't know what kind of car.
And the cop car crashes, and the cops are bleeding out over the steering wheel, and Burt Reynolds laughs about it.
Yeah, I didn't catch the bleeding out part, but yeah,
they worked, but that was a pretty bad crash. It was pretty gruesome. But we start off with the black Lamborghini flying down an Arizona or California highway, and there's a real cheesy song that starts.
Cannonball.
Yeah, bad song. And they, of course, one gal hops out, and there's a 55 mile per hour speed limit sign, and she takes some spray paint and draws an X through it.
Now, didn't she miss the obvious thing to do here?
Just draw a 1 in front of the 55?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would have thought that would have been, and honestly, I knew that she jumped out and did it. And is that the other of the two Countach women in the movie, or is she just in this scene?
No, I think that's one of the satin wearing gals.
Because there's Adrienne Barbeau, and then I don't even know what the other one is.
Blondie with small tits.
Right.
That are definitely pushed up, though.
But they're being chased, and you said it was a Lamborghini, it was a Countach. And
that was a Countach?
Yes.
Okay.
And that was actually a huge poster car when we were growing up. A lot of people had, in addition to the Farrah Fawcett poster, which you mentioned earlier, the Countach one was another big one. The Countach, Spuds MacKenzie.
I was going to say Spuds MacKenzie or the Miller Lite Girls.
Yes. But they are being chased. The girls in this Countach are being chased. And what is the cop car driving? Or what kind of car? Yeah.
A Trans Am. Where do you put the perps?
Is that only a 2-seater Trans Am?
Well, even if it's a 4-seater, I mean, come on. Not a whole lot of room in that back seat.
Not a lot of leg room. And I knew this was going to happen. And this is actually, it happened in a movie last week. And it's actually happened in a lot of movies that we've covered. Anything that has any kind of car chase type thing where they have the film goes really slow, so it appears to be faster than it actually is. And there's a lot of that in this film. But one of the things you can actually watch is if they had like a tree and the leaves on the tree are so obviously just shaking really, 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 really fast.
Okay. All right. Yeah, it's at this point I was just like, okay, let's just watch this and get this over with.
That'll come up in a little bit. But there's some radio chatter from the cops, and the cops have been chasing them for over 2 hours.
Right. Yeah, they really want this car. And one of the cops says, well, they're getting close to the state line. You're going to have to pull off pursuit.
But 2 hours, figure they have to be going over 100 miles an hour, right?
They've burned through quite a bit of gasoline.
Yeah, and I don't know what the tank size on a Lamborghini is, but I'm guessing that it probably would go through a tank in 2 hours.
Sure.
At that speed.
Right. But now we're at some sort of like garage or hangar or something, and Dom DeLuise shows up to J.J. McClure's Land, Sea, and Air, and he's 2 hours late. Why is he 2 hours late?
He went to see his therapist. No, something about his hamster had a panic attack.
Yeah, something about his hamster. And they're talking about winning the Cannonball Run, and Dom DeLuise brings up him. And this strikes a nerve in JJ, Burt Reynolds' character, and he doesn't want to talk about it. And I forgot about this. I still didn't know who him was.
Yeah.
But that'll come up.
It comes up quick.
Yes.
But you missed something that you actually pulled a clip from. There, as JJ, as Victor's character, Dom DeLuise's character, Victor, is walking in, he is humming a popular...
Nope, that's later on.
Okay.
That's when they're at the gas station.
Okay.
Yes.
But now
they're at some casino or a betting house.
That's off-track betting.
Okay. And we're introduced to Sammy Davis Jr. He's got some great choppers, man.
Actually, I don't know about his choppers. What the hell happened to his nose? His nose looked like it was caved in.
Punched too many times? I don't know. I don't know his backstory with his... I know he's Jewish.
Yeah, did he get mouthy with Frank?
I don't know. Hey, fantastic and good. Come back.
But Sammy is talking to somebody who is well known in the world of sports.
Jimmy the Greek.
Right.
Do you know why he was fired from, was it CBS? Because he was on the CBS football show.
Yeah, he was fired for making racial remarks about breeding slaves to be running backs or something along those lines.
Was that what it was? That they have, like, I don't...
There's something about how black athletes have an advantage because they were bred a certain way when they were slaves. And it's like, that's not even going to fly in the 1980s or 70s. So
No. So, yeah, but it's, they're talking about betting and they're talking about odds and how do you figure the odds? And we find out that the Cannonball Run is 3,000 miles and you are averaging 85 miles per hour. That's 35 hours. So that's a good amount of trucker butt that you're going to end up with.
Oh, yeah. And some of those vehicles not super comfortable to be traveling long distances in.
Mm-hmm. But now we have a brown Porsche. Do you say Porsche or Porsche?
Porsche.
I think we've had this conversation before, haven't we?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I me as well. And it's all kind of jacked up. It's got a real big spoiler in the back and some real flared out wheels. And there's a police blockade, and it goes around the police blockade and then crashes into some kind of ditch, into some trees. And this is where I said, oh, God, I forgot about this. You play the clip?
Oh, I heard the dog.
What are you, some kind of nut? Who do you think you are? Dun, dun, dun! I am Captain Chaos.
Yeah. Forgot about that.
Yeah, and we go back to the off-track betting or wherever it is that Sammy is. And I never got Sammy's or Dean Martin's characters' names.
I got Dean Martin's name coming up, but I don't know Sammy's name.
Most of them I just refer to by the actors' names because honestly, it doesn't really matter.
Correct.
But he's placing $20,000 on 50-1 odds that they are going to win the race.
Yes, he has a secret weapon, and here it is in my notes. Dean Martin, who is a complete drunk in this movie.
Oh, yeah. Every time Martin is mentioned in my notes, it says he looks drunk.
Yeah, Jamie Blake. So apparently, Dean Martin, you had the Rat Pack, and they had this persona of womanizers, drinkers, partiers. And when the Rat Pack would always get together, Dean Martin would always go to bed early. And I think there was the Dean Martin Show, which aired in the 60s, I believe, maybe even the 70s. And he always had a cocktail in his hand. But I think that was just his shtick. I don't think he was a big party animal like he portrayed himself.
He looked drunk through most of this film.
Yeah. But they're like, God is our co-pilot. So, and we'll figure out why God is their co-pilot a little bit later on. But now, JJ and Victor, they're talking about different options for cars. as they're in this airplane. They're flying an airplane. Why are they flying an airplane? I don't know.
Well, you said it already. It's JJ's sea, air, and whatever.
Yeah, so he's a Navy SEAL.
Okay, I did not know that.
No, he's not. He's not. I think in a movie is it ex-Navy SEAL? What the fuck movie is that?
Navy SEALs.
No, the documentary with Charlie Sheen and Michael Dean.
Yeah. Forgot that was a documentary.
Gator, or what's the other one where it was the big stunt where the guy falls out of like 30 stories?
That's not Hooper.
No, it's not Hooper. That's where he plays a stuntman. Oh God! If only there was something a device that we could look at that would give us information.
I wouldn't know. I have not seen Gator. I haven't seen a lot of.
It's not Gator, but if you heard it, you'd be like, "Oh yeah."
Longest Yard.
Yeah, no, no.
Boogie
it's
Nights.
It's no.
Cop and a Half.
No.
Striptease.
Okay, all right, moving on. But they're drinking beer in this plane, and they're out of Budweiser. And so, what do they do with their airplane?
Oh, before that though, they're you buried kind of like a big joke which didn't land, but they're talking about different vehicles.
But it lands. The plane lands. Victor goes to get the beer, and as he's coming back to the plane, we get a shot of the plane, and then Burt Reynolds says this.
Yep. Could get a black Trans Am. No, that's been done.
Ha 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 ha.
But yeah, Victor had gone into a bodega to get a 6-pack, and the actual stunt of the plane taking off in the city is actually a pretty decent stunt because there's not a lot of clearance there. And
you see this a couple of times in the movie, that there are people, like spectators, watching the filming of the movie. And they should just be like bystanders walking by, but they're kind of lined up watching, and you can see the barricades in the background where they've shut down traffic.
Yeah, they're just looky-loos, looking to see that big Hollywood production that's going on in their little town.
And now we're introduced to our next character, and who might that be?
Seymour, Roger Moore.
Correct. Yes. And his mother is giving him a guilt trip about all the money that she spent, school, braces, and she found his gun.
Yep.
No.
Zyka's in, Mama.
Yeah, it's a little banged on.
Where did I go wrong?
You know something, Mama? You're too Jewish.
But there was a part just before that where there is this music whenever Roger Moore's character Seymour is on screen, and it is just different enough that they couldn't be sued for using Bond movie music, but it is really, really close.
Very close.
And now, this. The sleep-in maid found it under your pillow this morning. What is the meaning of this?
The meaning, Mother dear, is a quick death. I warned you not to interfere in my affair.
Seymour, put that away. It's liable to go off.
And that's when he pulls out the gun and he does the fake thing, blah, 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 blah.
Right. And now we're back to Dom DeLuise and Burt Reynolds. Sorry about that. Brain fart. I was just thinking about his awesome dick broom. And they're on a boat. Do you know what the name of the boat was?
No.
Belly Dancer.
Okay.
And they crash, but they don't show it. But now...
Yeah, they run into another boat. They run into, what would you call that, a party boat?
Yes, I guess so. Party barge?
Yeah.
Sure. So now they're in the ambulance, and Burt is sporting a neck brace. And they're talking to the EMT in the ambulance.
Before I open this, don't get your hopes up.
Fuck. Okay. So here's the thing.
Okay.
I'm looking at this, and I know what clip I'm supposed to play, but I'm just not seeing it. It's like the idea, or is it the plan? Is it the plan? Is it maybe the plan? I love it when a plan comes together.
Something like, I think it's...
Oh yeah, it's because it's out of... There you go. It's this one.
Sorry. How far is it to the hospital? Oh, about 10 miles. Oh, yeah? How long will it take to get there? About 4 or 5 minutes. You can smoke through traffic like shot through a gun in this thing.
Why did they overdub what the ambulance driver said?
Because he clearly, you can see his lips saying shit through a goose.
Right, and shot through a gun doesn't even make sense.
I think it's chaff through a gun.
Oh, well, it still
doesn't make sense because they do say shit in this movie one other time.
Yeah, they say shit, they say asshole. I mean, it is a PG movie, so they had the ability to say that. It wouldn't have been over the line.
Sure. But now we're in Japan on some sort of Japanese talk show, and they've got, geisha girls coming out and putting their fingers over their mouth and going...
And this was Jackie Chan's second film in the U.S.?
What was the first one?
I do not know. All I know is it said it was his second film.
Okay, but he's clearly, he's Chinese. So, hey, let's make a Chinese guy. I'm sure that the Communist Party was not happy with that.
Yeah, well...
The Chi-Coms.
And you know what their car is called, what their team is called.
No.
It's the Mitsubishi team.
Okay.
But that's not a Mitsubishi car.
It's not?
No. I think it's a Datsun.
Is it like a Chevette or something?
No, it's a Japanese car.
Okay, but it's not a Mitsubishi.
No.
All right. But as this show is being filmed, it's like a talk show.
It's a Tonight Show clone.
It's like Dick Cavett or something. And his co-pilot is showing this hot piece of ass, the car, while the show is being filmed. And the hot piece of ass pushes a button and the car takes off and crashes through a wall.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And now we're in... Okay, go ahead. Carry on.
That was actually a real type of computer that they actually had in that car, too.
Mm-hmm.
The button that said turbo was not, though.
No, it wasn't?
No.
Okay. And now, we're going through the whole character development, all the introductions of all the characters. And our next character is a Sheik, played by Jamie Farr, best known as Klinger. Why didn't I pull a Klinger clip?
I don't know if there really is a classic Klinger clip.
A definitive Klinger clip, because early on, he was always dressing as a woman.
Right, because he was trying to get a Section 8 so he could get out.
Yes, and then as the show progressed, he was kind of doing a hybrid. I'm still going to be in my uniform, but have earrings or high heels or something. And then as we got to the tail end of the show, he was just Klinger.
Yeah, and he married Sun Yi. And he took over for Radar when Radar left, and he was actually better than Radar because he had 2 working arms. So,
I went to grade school with a kid whose mom dated Radar because he was the drummer in her brother's band.
Radar is the only actor crossover from the film MASH.
Yes, correct.
But yeah, there's a lot of characters that are introduced, and a lot of them actually don't serve any purpose and are in it very, very sporadically.
Right. This movie really looks like it was just kind of thrown together. Like they tossed a jigsaw puzzle out on the table and were like, dude, do the best that you can.
It actually reminds me of a Love Boat episode.
Okay, there you go.
Because you have a bunch of these guest stars, and these were all people that most people would know.
Sure.
But most of them don't even have like a B plot or a C plot. The Sheik is in it maybe 2 or 3 times total.
Correct.
Honestly,
his sister. What's the point of his sister being in it?
His sister's in it?
Well, no, the Sheik's sister. They're talking after there's 2 dudes on camels and they're talking about cigarettes.
Right.
And then the Sheik flies by on his Rolls Royce and goes to his house in the oasis, and he's talking to his sister out by the pool. And on the IMDb page, she's on the top billing section.
I don't know, no clue.
Yeah, but she's hot.
But who's the next person that we're introduced to?
Brad, and he's played by Bert Convy, who died from a brain tumor shortly after this movie was made.
Yeah, at 46 or something like that.
Yeah, it's pretty young. He was supposed to take over the Match Game or some sort of big time game show, primetime game show, and dude died.
But he's like an Elon Musk type character.
Correct. Yeah, he's got his minions. We don't know where they are, but obviously you can hear the hum of the airplane. And his minions are saying the board wishes that he would reconsider running the race. And he's like, nope, I'm going to do it. And he launches his motorcycle out of the plane, which kind of pointless because there's no parachute on the motorcycle.
And he lets it go.
Yeah, right. And he's singing a Sammy Davis Jr. song on the way down.
Oh, I did not catch that. But yeah, he drives a motorcycle off the back of the plane, and there's some Evel Knievel joke that is done.
Yeah,
about that idiot that tried to jump across the canyon.
The Grand Canyon. Yeah, there's a Bubba that says, isn't that something? And the wife says, that's the dumbest thing I've seen since somebody tried jumping the Grand Canyon. And Evel Knievel tried jumping the Snake Canyon in 1974.
He should have.
Which
Snack
failed
Canyon
miserably.
Joke.
Snack Canyon, yes.
I'd like a Sprite, please.
Yeah, the only time I've seen somebody try to jump across the Grand Canyon was Thelma and Louise.
Yeah,
I'm glad those bitches died.
So I've never seen Thelma and Louise.
Oh, it's bad. It's bad.
But now we're introduced to Terry Bradshaw and some dude I didn't recognize.
Mel Tillis.
Oh, that's Mel Tillis.
He's the stuttering country star.
Okay. He shows up on Family Guy a lot, doesn't he?
No, that's Conway Twitty.
Yeah, you're right, Conway Twitty. Now, and they just play a Conway Twitty thing for like 3 minutes.
2 minutes. Yeah, from Hee Haw. But yeah, there's some podunk country music. There's a cop chase. Mel Tillis and Terry Bradshaw, they're in a Hawaiian tropic car. The hood flies up. They can't see anything. They crash into a pool. The pool area is just surrounded by hot pieces of ass. There's not a bad piece of trim around there.
Right. But did you notice when they get out of the pool, they don't have shoes on?
They don't?
No.
Okay.
And also, the type of car that they have right now and in the next scene is different than the car they actually drive during the race.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then we go to where?
It is some do-gooder environmental organization.
Right. It's some kind of a lunch, and there's 3 things that come back to back to back here.
Well, first it says that they got a chalkboard while some old bag is up there talking, and it says, save the shrimp.
Right.
But her first line to this organization is this.
I'd like to thank Mona Corson of Westport for that wonderful luncheon of hemp sandwiches and wood chip consomme.
I just love the smattering of applause.
Correct.
But you missed the thing that comes immediately after that, and then the thing that comes immediately after that is we are introduced to Farrah Fawcett's character for the first time, and then also the character AJ Foyt, who is AF Foyt. I'm sorry.
Correct. Yeah, that's okay.
But what does AF say to Farrah's character, who is taking pictures?
Something about her tits.
This is a terrific turnout for the meeting.
Yes, terrific.
And then
I'd like two pickets to Pittsburgh, please.
But he says something about, are you here to watch me speak? And then she says something about trees. And
yes,
I'll play that.
You know what I like best about trees?
No, what?
Oh, that you can lie under them on a moonlit night with the breeze blowing. Ball your brains out.
Yeah, as a kid, probably had no idea what she was talking about.
Yeah, but they're at this environmental thing, and this environmental thing apparently has a parking lot that is very close to where the pool was.
Correct. Yeah, because Mel Tillis and Terry Bradshaw, they're retuning their car because it was submerged in the pool. And the AF Foyt.
Yeah, what is he giving a speech about?
Oh, God. All I've got is Enviro Nerd talking.
Toilet paper. He's talking about toilet paper.
Okay. And Terry Bradshaw's like, give us some more, give us some more. And the car blows out the window. And Terry Bradshaw walks up to the broken window, kind of looks in, and what does he do?
Puts in a huge chaw.
Of Red Man.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've only tried that a couple of times. That was never my thing.
And when I was a park ranger, did that a lot.
Yeah, chewing was, but the Red Man or what were the other brands of the big league chew?
See, Red Man was the only one I really knew, because then there was I knew all of the tin ones, because you had Skull, Kodiak. What was the one that everybody chewed that was between Kodiak and Skull?
Grizzly?
No, Grizzly was there too. It was the one. What were the ones where you could get the bandits? Was it Skull? That's Skull.
No, Skull.
I was thinking. Yeah. I was thinking Copenhagen was the other one. I was thinking Copenhagen was fucking terrible.
I tried Copenhagen once or twice, and it was like putting a pile of sawdust in your mouth.
Oh yeah, it's just sand. I mean, it's fucking awful.
Yeah, and the bandits. The whole point of having a bandit was that you could swallow. And every time I tried swallowing a bandit, the juice from the bandit, I'd get terrible hiccups.
Yeah, I actually.
Oh, cum bubble.
Yep. I used to, I graduated from bandits to just cherry skull.
Oh, I love cherry skull.
And I could gut that stuff. No problem. Yeah, it's not good for you.
No, that shit will give you pancreatic cancer. Doing that.
And then we're introduced to another set of drivers that I think only show up like 2 times.
They show up a couple of times, but they've got a TPT. Do you know what a TPT is?
No.
A tiny penis truck.
Okay, yeah, it's got the Trans Am logo on it.
Yeah, the guys who have those big jacked up Bubba trucks, those are they're usually basically compensating for having little wieners.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why we call them TPTs. Did you recognize either one of them?
No.
Okay, the one guy who does the really bad impersonations, who's kind of has like maybe he's Puerto Rican or something.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. He was the bad guy from Ghost.
Okay.
And the other guy, I've seen him before. Maybe it's just the Cannonball Run. But I don't know. You know, I looked up his other shit that he was in. I'm like, I don't know, but I recognized him. But they drive through the hotel lobby.
Yeah, and
who gets taken out big time?
AF.
Yeah, I mean that was a pretty cool stunt where he's standing there and. The truck, it's like a top view, it's looking down, and the truck hits a couch, and he flies into the couch, and then the couch goes flying across the room.
Right.
Mm-hmm. But then we get this from the bad guy from Ghost.
Hey, you're the one running this flea bag? Where are the hookers?
What?
Hookers, man. Where are the hookers? Excuse me?
And then these gray things come out of the walls and drag him away to hell.
Right. Did you notice who the hotel manager was? Any idea who that was?
No.
That's the guy who does the voice of Winnie the Pooh. Oh, Hufflepuff. Seriously.
Okay. I would have no idea. But JJ and Victor are dressed up as EMTs, and
correct.
AF is passed out, and the hotel manager.
But Mad Dog does some stupid Nixon impersonation.
Oh, yeah.
Like, was he a comedian or something?
I think he was probably big on, what's that? Match Game. He was probably big on Match Game.
No, I don't think so. He's such a B-list guy. But he had to have been a comedian that they just somebody saw him on stage and were like, we got to get this guy in a movie.
He reminds me kind of the guy who was in Ski Patrol.
I have not seen that.
Oh, you're not missing anything, so don't watch it. But
all right. But yeah, Winnie the Pooh wants JJ and Victor to help out AF Foyt. And he's like, hey, it's our day off. But then he uses the classic seltzer bottle.
In the face.
In the face.
And then in the crotch.
Yes.
At this point in my notes, it says, this movie is shockingly bad.
Yes.
And we must have some kind of a time jump because AF and Farrah are talking at...
No, not yet. Did I send you a clip of... Maybe I looked at that clip, I listened to it, and I said, no, that's stupid. Yeah, it is, because JJ and Victor go to the hotel desk and check in, and Winnie the Pooh is there, and JJ's like, oh, I gotta get a drink. You know, after I save somebody, I gotta settle the nerves. Something like that. It was stupid.
Yeah, no clip for that.
Okay.
But thank you for talking about it.
Yes. The Sheik shows up. He wants to rent out the entire floor of a hotel. And now we're at the bar.
And the guy AF is with Farrah, sorry. I don't even know what her name is.
Pamela,
okay. And he starts sneaking around on the ground so he can hear people talking.
Correct.
And Victor and JJ are talking about trying to find a doctor because they're dressed as EMTs and that's going to be their cover for the race. And
correct.
Victor's shrink was committed. What was Victor's shrink committed for?
Oh, I can't remember.
Smoking Bananas.
Okay. Smoking Bananas.
And Dean Martin and Sammy show up, and they are dressed as...
Hold on a second. Do you remember, I would have been a freshman, and you would have been a sophomore, and after lunch, in the bathrooms right outside of the cafeteria in high school, all the burnouts would smoke?
Yeah.
I mean, you could smell cigarette smoke in that kind of vestibule area outside of the cafeteria. I mean, it was just, smoke was pouring. I mean, I remember going in there. Have I talked about this before in this podcast?
No.
Okay. As a little freshman and going in there and seeing these like gigantic dudes that had big hair and denim jackets, and they're all just smoking heaters. And I remember standing at the urinal, my knee was shaking. I was so scared. And just having complete stage fright. And just standing there for 30 seconds, just pretend that you have to pee and then walk out. And, you know, those guys were like probably the nicest guys.
Some of them were, not all of them.
They were all scary looking. And I remember there was a dude in my class that they paid him $5 to smoke a $1 bill.
Okay. Yeah, that's a no-brainer.
Yes. And he did. He smoked an entire $1 bill.
There was one guy from your class, I remember this, in the bathroom, and I don't remember. It wasn't that bathroom. It was the bathroom that was kind of like off of the main hallway when you come down past the office. The ones that, you know, is right before
by the library.
Yeah, exactly.
That is where I saw the turd from the ledger. I remember specifically it was in that bathroom.
See, I saw it in the one in the next hallway over.
Okay.
But I was in the bathroom just taking a piss, and a guy from your class, who I think is in jail now. If not, he has gotten out, but he was in jail for a while. And he was smoking.
Is his name similar to a cartoon character that was a bird?
I don't remember. If I heard it, I know. We can talk about it offline.
Okay.
But no, that's different. He's dead.
No, he's not dead.
You sure?
Yes. He was in jail, though.
No, I swear on the KM's thing, I just saw that. Anyway.
Different dude.
So he was this guy was he was a friend of mine, and he was smoking, and I was just taking a piss, and teachers came in, you know, cigarette goes in the toilet, but the guy still had a mouthful of smoke.
Oh, God.
And the teacher grabs him, and I'm sitting there still pissing, and he's like, "You were smoking, weren't you?" And he's like, "Nope." You know, just real quick.
Uh-huh.
He's like, "What's your name?" "Bob." It's like, okay, Bob, you're coming to the office with me. You're just trying to not say anything to blow out any smoke, because he had a full mouthful of smoke.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
But so Dean Martin and Sammy are there. They're dressed as priests. And not only do Victor and JJ need a doctor, they need one other thing as well.
They need a patient.
Right.
So they go and talk to the two chicks. The purple and blue satin outfits.
Yep. It's Adrienne Barbeau and the other
chick.
Right.
And they go to talk up these two chicks, and they reveal, well, we are cannonballers also. And that's when he looks over and he sees Pamela. Man, it must be really, really cold in that bar.
In my notes, must be cold in the bar.
Yes. Yeah.
But the Countach girls, that's what I call them, are flirting with JJ and Victor. And it has actually gotten colder in the bar because it increases in intensity.
Correct.
And JJ goes over to talk to her, and he says, "Don't tell me your name. Let me guess."
Correct.
And yeah, it doesn't work out so well for him.
No, it doesn't work out. She starts talking about trees. He keeps getting interrupted. And finally, Victor comes over and completely cock-blocks him.
Yeah, she does this stupid shit about trees a couple times.
Yes.
But when there was being a back and forth between JJ and Beauty, that's what he calls her, it reminded me of The Fan, because it was a back and forth of hard focus, soft focus, hard focus, soft focus.
Right.
Because on JJ, it was a hard focus, and on her, extremely soft focus, which is weird because she definitely was an attractive woman.
Do you think that this was maybe after an episode where she got popped in the face by Ryan
O'Neal?
They had to cover up with some makeup, so they had to put a soft focus on her?
Either I don't know what the exact timeline is because it could have also been the $6 Million Man. She got mouthy and it was like boom.
But now, yes, the Dean Martin and Sammy Davis Jr. come in. They are dressed as priests, Catholic priests, and this exchange happens when they see the two Lamborghini chicks.
Look at the chicks. Look at the chicks. Oh, if we were Methodists, oh, what a shot we could have at getting laid right here.
Yeah, he's so hammered in that scene.
Yeah, and there's some other just random guy sitting at the bar listening to them, and he spits out his drink when he hears that. But now we get, the motorcycle gag. Bert Convy, Brad, he's got some fat guy who's tuning up his motorcycle.
Yep.
And
it's the clutch or the throttle is stuck.
Yeah, give it a try, yes, and the motorcycle goes and crashes through the bar.
And runs over Foyt.
Yes. Yeah. And then Seymour shows up with some chick who's got big hooters.
Do you notice he's with a different girl every shot?
5 different women in this movie.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, and how does he sign his name?
Roger Moore.
Correct. Yeah, I didn't quite get the joke. I wasn't...
He was heir to a brassiere fortune, or...
I'm not sure.
It was, or a girdle fortune. It was a girdle fortune. His parents had a girdle company, and he was pretending to be Roger Moore. That was the gag.
Okay. All right.
And there's in the parking lot, there's a guy who is just holding up a van.
A big old muscle Bubba.
Yeah.
Yeah, during as the tire is getting changed. Completely pointless.
Right. And then there's Bradshaw and Tillis. They're loading up their car. And I thought this part was actually funny. I remembered this from having seen this when I was younger.
How many cases of beer are they loading up?
It's like 6.
It's more than that.
Is it more than that?
There's 6 cases of beer on the hood, and they've already loaded a couple prior to that.
But, Bradshaw's like, wait. What about food? 1 bag of chips.
Yeah.
And it's not even like a real bag of chips. It's like one of those airplane-sized bag of chips.
Sure.
And then we actually get the rules to the race, and I actually use my version of this because it's just slightly longer.
Your version is longer?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. I'd like to welcome you all to an event that's sometimes been called the automotive counterpart to the Bay of Pigs. You all are certainly the most distinguished group of highway scofflaws and degenerates ever gathered together in one place. We're going to have a lot of fun. Of course, certain skeptics note that perhaps 10,000 of the nation's most elite highway patrolmen are out there waiting for us after we start. But let's think positively. Think of the fact that there is not one state in the 50 that has the death penalty for speeding. Although I'm not so sure about Ohio. Everybody is going to get a card like this. When you leave, you're going to punch out here at this time clock. 3,000 miles roughly away from here is another time clock just like that at the Portofino Inn. The difference between the 2 times is your time across the country. The record stands at 32 hours and 51 minutes.
Okay,
you got all that?
That's kind of important. With the
but is it?
Thing.
Is it?
Well, not at the end, it's not.
Yeah, that will come up at the end again.
Right. So, let's see. Yeah, who's taking down the license plates?
It's Foyt and Farrah. Foyt and Beauty.
But is it really? Because from the back they show them, and it's 2 people with really bad wigs.
Okay, I did not catch that.
Oh God, I'm like, wait a second. Those are really bad wigs. That's not them. Yeah, it was. I don't know who it was, but yeah. Anyways, and there's all kinds of different shenanigans going on as each car comes and does the time clock. The Japanese team just speeds through. They
doesn't even bother to do it.
Correct. Yeah, everybody has their own kind of little shtick that they do, and Dean and Sammy are completely fucking hammered.
And Sammy's character recognizes JJ, but Martin's character says not to worry about JJ and not to worry about Victor, but the other guy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, him.
So this is also something that should be important, but isn't, because the fact that these two recognize JJ and Victor, to me, means that they know each other.
Right. Right. But that comes up later on that...
Apparently they don't.
Apparently they don't. But they finally get themselves a doctor.
Yeah. And, well, actually, they have a thing where, no, they don't even get a doctor yet because they're talking about the doctor, and the doctor that Victor had gotten sick. And JJ says, go get a doctor, go to places where doctors hang out. And he takes off.
Yeah. Hospitals, bars.
Golf courses. And the order that people take off in is kind of important, but we get the Sheik. You already mentioned the Japanese team. The Sheik takes off. Bradshaw's team takes off. Seymour takes off, and he has no lights on. And he says, why give them help finding them?
Correct.
And then Convy, and he has his mechanic is riding bitch on his motorcycle in a blonde wig.
They're dressed up as like a bride and groom.
Right.
Yes.
And then we get to Sammy and Dean Martin, and neither one of them wants to drive.
Right.
But
give me the keys, I'll drive.
And then what kind of car are they driving?
They're driving Magnum PI's Ferrari.
Right. And then the Countach girls take off. So here, this is an important point right here. The Countach girls take off. So everybody that takes off before now, just forget about.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the people that take off after this point that are important.
Correct.
So the Countach girls take off. The next car that takes off is the Ferrari with Sammy and Dean Martin.
Mm-hmm.
Then it's a random car. Then we find out that Victor has a doctor.
Okay.
Before I open this, don't get your hopes up too high. I was pressed for time. No problem. Holy shit.
I'm honored, sir.
There's a shit.
I'm Dr. Nicholas Van Helsing, professor of proctology and other related tendencies, graduate of the University of Rangoon, and assorted night classes at the Knoxville, Tennessee College of Faith Healing.
You may be a little overqualified for this job.
Yeah, and then the doctor puts his middle finger under JJ's nose.
Right. Because I don't need any equipment, I just got this. And he asks for $2,000, but settles for $200.
Yeah, JJ says, I think $200 would be enough. You got a deal.
You're right.
And JJ and Victor are smoking stogies, and they don't actually show them leave. They're already out at this point.
Right, but JJ is complaining to Victor that they couldn't get a female patient. Victor's cousin couldn't fit on the gurney or in the ambulance. So she's a full-figure gal.
Yeah, larger lady.
Correct. But now we come upon that Foyt and Pamela were in some sort of wreck. Like
right before that, though, JJ and Victor have another exchange that says he doesn't like it when you say bad things about me. Not saying who he is.
Correct.
Once again, we know it's Captain Chaos.
It's Captain Chaos, yeah. Right. But now can we get to the... Yeah, Foyt and Pamela were in Iraq. They were run off the road by a cannonballer. And they show up in their ambulance. Basically, they just grab Pamela. They're kidnapping her.
Right. Yeah, and is she an idiot? Because she comes off as very bubble-headed in this entire film.
Correct.
But she's a kind of disturbed when she first meets the doctor.
Mm-hmm.
And then we go to the Japanese team.
Well, the doctor's like, JJ, can I start the examination? I'm going to like this job.
Yeah, well, there's a couple problematic elements here, and those will come up later as well. But with the Japanese car, how are they driving?
Using infrared.
Yeah, and I don't know if it works like that.
No, I don't think so.
And we find out for the first time the Countach has been pulled over, and they were going 160 miles an hour. But this is a repeating theme. How do they get out of tickets?
They pulled out. Well, Adrienne Barbeau pulls down her zipper and retrieves her driver's license from her bra.
Right.
Yes. And the car. There's all kinds of other cannonballers that are just zoom, 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 just just flying by. And the police officer lets her go, but there was a deleted scene where a female officer pulls over one of the cannonballers.
Is there a problem, officer?
Not as long as you have a permit for that weapon you're carrying.
A permit?
Yeah, permit.
Oh, that weapon. I didn't realize I needed a permit for it. Is there any way we can take care of that right here?
I think we can take care of that right here. The first thing we need to do is unload that weapon.
And now it's time for Name That Porn Star.
Sounds familiar, but it sounds like they all sound the same.
Exactly. She's a gal that kind of just had her own standalone website, was never in like Naughty America or anything like that. Her name is Chica. Are you familiar?
No.
Kind of like up there with Wifey's World. You're familiar with her, right?
No.
Really?
No.
Okay. All right. That's right. You don't watch porn.
No. What's porn? But the cops have let the Countach girls go, and JJ is talking to Beauty in the back of the ambulance, and she realizes that she was kidnapped.
Mm-hmm.
And then the cops are going to pull over the ambulance, and JJ wants her to lay down, and she cannot remember Foyt's name, and this is kind of a running gag.
Oh, it is? I didn't catch this.
Oh, it comes up several times where you forgot about, and then everybody says Foyt.
Okay.
It comes up like 4 times.
Okay, but yeah, the doc wants to give her a shot, and JJ makes him give himself the shot first, and he likes it so much he takes seconds.
He offers shots to everyone.
Yeah.
And they decline. And then he injects himself again. Yeah.
Yeah, but they have this routine with the police officers that they are going to UCLA. It's the senator's wife. She can't fly. She's on laughing gas.
Right.
Somehow the doctor wrestled her down and violated her and got a mask around her and held it on her long enough for the laughing gas to kick in. And this part was kind of funny. This part kind of cracked me up with the whole Dom DeLuise grabbing Burt Reynolds' hand and holding it down or something. And
we're very close.
We're very close. Yeah, the parts that cracked me up were all Dom DeLuise.
There's one line in this entire film that made me laugh.
Okay.
And it's coming up.
Okay.
Because I pulled the clip from it. But the doc actually does his job here, and he comes off as believable. And he says this thing about how she has cysts on the sides of her lungs and she can't fly. And the cops let them go, and the doc passes out.
Yes.
And there's a thread that is opened twice. This is the second time this thread has been mentioned, which never pays off, which JJ says he does not want to know where Victor found the doc.
Okay.
But that never pays off, and he mentions it several times.
Sure.
But then Foyt is at the airport.
He's in a phone booth.
Right.
And he's talking. Who's he talking to?
He's talking to a senator or something?
Somebody high up. Basically, we need to stop this. We need to stop this. Some fat bitch.
Yeah, when the van, I actually thought that was the ambulance. I thought that was weird.
Okay.
Just because of the color scheme looked like an ambulance, but it is just a van and some fat lady, yeah.
Yeah, basically blocks the doors. He has an exchange with her. I was going to pull the clip for this, but when I watched it the second time, I'm like, it's stupid. So
now we go back to Seymour.
Yes. He's bragging about he was in the RAF and a different girl that he's got in his car. What kind of car is he driving, by the way?
It's Aston Martin.
Yes, the classic James Bond car, which we see in Skyfall.
Right. And she asks if she can smoke.
And he's like, they're your lungs.
But he stops her from using the cigarette lighter.
Correct.
The built-in cigarette lighter, that I should say.
Yes. And tells her, puff away. The Lambo girls, they get off once again.
Right. And then we find out that Farrah Beauty has been Cosby'd, basically.
Yes, and now the Ambo and the priests in their Ferrari are racing, and this is where you could see like all kinds of people. It's like a parade. People are just out there watching the cars go by, doing this dangerous stunt.
And for some reason, I think they thought it was funny or cool looking. The motorcycle is basically doing a wheelie in every shot that it's in.
Yeah, because the guy who's dressed up as the bride is fat. So, haha, fat guy makes the motorcycle do a wheelie because he's so fat. There's a lot of things that you could not do today.
Right. And Dean Martin and Sammy in the Ferrari are next to JJ and Victor, and they want them to pull over.
Yes.
And this is the whole thing where it doesn't make sense because they should recognize them. They're not in great disguises. Wearing a priest's outfit is not really a great disguise.
And they were just racing them 2 minutes before that.
Right. And then as I think it's Dean Martin. As Dean Martin is walking around the side of the ambulance.
Oh, I have to bless her.
Oh, before that, Victor says this to Dean Martin.
Nice car, Father.
Thank you, asshole.
That is the only line in this movie that made me laugh.
Okay.
And then Dean is talking to JJ, and as he's doing that, Sammy is taking air out of the tire. I think did he use a knife or was he just like letting the air out?
He was just letting on the stem valve, just pushing the pin and letting the air out.
But this is when Dean sees Farrah and says, "Oh, I gotta bless her."
Correct. And then before the Ferrari pulls out, JJ and Sammy Davis Jr. have this exchange. Or maybe it's Victor.
Thank you, Father. Why don't you take that piece of shit back to the junkyard?
Yeah. And the back tire is flat, and now we go back to Seymour. He's with a different girl.
He's got a different woman, yes.
They do the cigarette lighter thing again.
Mm-hmm.
And he has a CB, and he's getting warned about Smokies. And what city are they in at this point? Very distinct landmark, which is how you know what city they're in.
It's not St. Louis.
Yes, it is.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right.
It's Cardinal Stadium. That's what you see. That's how you know St. Louis.
Oh, yes. Cardinal. Yeah, because there's nothing else in St. Louis that would...
Nothing else identifies St. Louis like Cardinal Stadium.
Have you ever been to that? Have you ever been to the Arch?
No, I have not.
Okay. Nor have I. And I don't know if I like the elevator that goes up it. I mean, it's small. And you're...
Claustrophobic?
I don't know if I could do that. And even when you're like up top, like somebody like you, I think has to bend over the entire time. Well, which
yeah,
you're kind of used to that. But
you know, you're at the top of this very tall structure in St. Louis.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're getting a great view of St. Louis.
Ooh, it's St. Louis.
Yeah, it's not yay. But JJ and Victor, they pull into a gas station.
Yeah, the doc has got to pee. He's doing the potty dance.
Right. And he's doing the pee-pee dance, which is what I said. Yes. And then they have JJ is actually calling in over the speaker to the people in the actual store part of the gas station.
7-Eleven, how can I help you?
Pumps 1 and 2, hit them.
What are you, some kind of nut? You got one unleaded there and one premium.
She goes both ways.
Ha ha, ha ha. It's me doing Doug's laugh.
Yes. But now Victor comes out, Dom DeLuise, with like 2 big bags of snacks. And this part cracked me up. I don't know why. It just did. And it's, unfortunately, you don't get the visual of him doing the little dance with his stupid Dom DeLuise hat.
Mm-hmm.
But it made me chuckle.
And for some reason, my notes, it says scene 1, you've seen them all. I don't know what that even means.
Okay. Oh. That's because the men's room is occupied.
Oh, okay. Yeah, with the doctor.
The doc's got to pee really bad, and Farrah Fawcett's like, you can't come in here. It's the woman's room. And he's like, oh, you've seen one, you've seen them all.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But
no, not necessarily. They're all different. Just like our dogs. Our penises, they all have their own little personality, just like every woman's vagina.
And the motorcycle goes by, and it's still doing a wheelie.
Well, we got to get to the clip of Dom DeLuise doing his little song and dance.
Dom DeLuise doing his little song and dance.
Yes, for the soft drink jingle. That's here.
Victor, what do you got? A lot of goodies for you guys and a big gulp Dr. Pepper for me. I'm a pepper, you're a pepper, he's a pepper, she's a pepper. Wouldn't you like to be a pepper? Will you get in here? Okay, here you go.
And now, as they pull out,
the Ferrari with the priests pull in.
Yes, and they pull up to a police officer, and JJ starts talking to him, and he says, "Do you take your law and order seriously?" And the cop points to the big banner above the road, and it says, "Re-elect Sean Killikami O'Scallion. God, guns, and guts. Keep us safe from those hippie nuts."
And while this is going on, who is Sammy talking to?
I don't know.
He's talking to Jimmy the Greek. He's wanting to up his wager.
Okay.
And then we see that Jackie Chan's...
Hold on.
Yeah.
JJ tells the cop that the priest they're priests, they're flashers dressed up as priests, and they're armed. And
yeah, he thinks they're armed.
And the cop says, "I hope so."
And the Ferrari pulls out, and the cops stop them.
Yes.
And Martin, once again, just hammered.
Yes.
And
I believe they're drinking.
Yes. Well, they're drinking when they're flying. They're drinking when they're driving.
Yes.
But there's some CB talk about cops, and Victor is shaving as he's driving.
With an electric razor. Have you ever used an electric razor?
Yes, I have. That's all I use is an electric razor.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? My brother got me an electric razor when I was in high school, and I think I used it for like a year, and all it did was give me acne, which, I mean, I was in high school, so yeah, I got acne, but now I got a little mirror in the shower and put some soap on my face, and that's where I shave.
But the CB talk is actually talking about how Foyt has set up a roadblock where
Correct.
they're using the license plates they checked earlier, and they are checking all of them. But JJ actually comes up with a unique solution to get around this roadblock.
Correct. He sees a flatbed truck with a big tarp on it, and I don't think we exactly see him convince the truck driver to let them go on that truck, but that's what happens. They pull the ambulance, they get the ambulance on the flatbed, pull it over a big green tarp, and they are good to go.
He uses the dick broom. That's how he gets that done.
Yes, there you go.
But Foyt is checking plates at the roadblock, and Seymour's car is there, and he uses a very Bond way to get out of this.
Yeah, flips the license plate so it's a different number.
And while this whole thing is going on and the ambulance is under the tarp on the flatbed, Victor is working on the ambulance. And
it's the transmission which was slipping.
Which actually happened in the real cannonball race that somebody did where they used an ambulance and their transmission failed in the last 10 miles of the race.
Oh, okay.
But Beauty is half dressed. And
she's very cold.
And JJ is wearing a wife beater.
Uh-huh.
And they are flirting, and this exchange happens.
What'd you expect, anyway?
Gangbang or something like that.
A gangbang? We're racers, not rapists.
Why?
Why what?
Hello. Yeah? I'm here for the gangbang.
You know what that's from?
Old school.
Yeah, good.
Nobel?
Oh, yeah. But yeah. JJ tells a sad story about his dad.
Yeah, which was completely pointless. It's like Phoebe Cates telling the story of her dad getting stuck in the chimney during Gremlins. Yeah, dumb.
And at this point in the movie, when they're having this conversation, I actually put in my notes, Farrah, is really pretty.
Mm-hmm.
She really, really is.
Sure.
And then we go to Bradshaw and the Stutterer, who we have not seen in a long time.
This is where they get pulled over by the cops, and they're just sitting there openly drinking beers as they're talking to the cops.
And AJ, or Foyt, accidentally sends a van into a cop car, which causes it to explode.
Yeah, the big muscle guy that was holding up the van before while the tire was getting changed. They get pulled over. Yeah, Foyt opens the door. He's going to push it into neutral, but puts it into drive, and it crashes into the cop car. And that cop car must have been like
loaded with TNT.
Or what's the car?
Oh, a Pinto.
A Pinto.
Yeah, just rolls up, hits the bumper, ding.
Yeah. Yes.
But the ambulance is now off the flatbed, and as they're driving, that is not an ambulance engine sound we hear.
Is it pretty revved up?
Yeah, it is. Absolutely.
Okay.
And there's some cops that are talking, and they are lamenting about the fact that they're using radar.
Right.
And Jackie Chan's car shows up in this scene, and this happens.
Well, hold on a second. Yeah. Every time that we see their car, what's the music that we hear?
It is very type music.
Yeah, something you couldn't do today.
And they don't speak Japanese. They speak Mandarin.
Right.
But, I mean, who's going to know that?
Correct.
But this is what happens when their car comes upon the speed trap.
What the hell was that? I don't know, but whatever it was, it's doing 125.
Yeah, a little bit wrong.
A little bit wrong. And now the Sheik pulls up to some restaurant. And he gets takeout, and there's some chick there that she's got some big jugs.
Right, but this is a scene that really dates this movie, because the impressive thing with the fact that the Sheik pulls up is, how did he order?
With the cell phone.
Via car phone.
Yes.
And he pays with what?
Is it a ring or a watch?
He gives her a ring.
Okay.
And then he takes off, and then immediately stops.
Asks her if she's ever considered joining a harem.
Yeah. But he takes off, stops, comes back, gives her a huge money roll.
Right.
And tells her to get a physical.
Yeah.
And now it is raining out, and Beauty is talking to Victor about him.
It's just a stupid conversation, and the only thing that I got out of it was that she goes commando.
Maybe if I wasn't going commando.
And then she starts doing lunges.
Right.
Yeah.
Am I wearing
Could I be wearing any more clothes?
There you go. Sorry.
Yeah, that's right. I'm more of a Chandler than you are.
Yes.
You're more of a Samantha. So.
A Samantha?
Yeah, Sex and the City.
Oh, yes. Hey, you big guy. Come on over here.
But she wants to be Victor's friend. And then we go to Jackie Chan's car in the desert, and it says they're in New Mexico. Small problem.
Yeah.
Where are they actually?
Texas?
Yeah, they're in Texas.
Mm-hmm.
And then we go to the Countach, and the Countach is stopped again.
Yes.
Small problem.
Yeah, who pulled them over, actually?
Mitch Tuchfucker!
Yeah. Valerie Perrine.
And she showed off her big jugs also. Very proud. She's very proud of them.
Well, she should be. There's nothing wrong with that.
Sure.
And then Seymour is getting tailed by the cops.
Correct. And he's got another new girl in his car, and he does the whole spy hunter thing, doesn't he?
Yes. First he does the smoke screen.
Uh-huh.
And then he does the oil slick.
Yeah.
And the cop car spins out.
Like 30 times, man.
Actually impressed by this. There's 2 stunts in this film that really impressed me. Oh, actually 3, because there's the plane one as well. This one looked crazy. The rate that car was spinning at, and the film was not sped up, that was insane.
I'm pretty sure that was probably in the trailer.
Okay, but it just was impressive to me.
Yeah.
But his car is full of smoke, and he's trying to roll down the window to kind of get it out.
Right.
And then Jackie Chan is driving, and his co-pilot is sleeping. And as one is wont to do when you're on a long road trip, what do you do when you're driving and the other person in the car is asleep?
Oh, you put some porn on.
But of course, since this is 1983,
81.
Since this is 1981, he puts in a porno on VHS.
Yes, and it's behind the green door, which I don't think that was Marilyn Chambers.
I don't know. Have you seen Behind the Green Door?
I don't think so. Maybe bits and pieces of it.
I'm sure I've seen bits and pieces of it.
There was a movie made about the producers, brothers.
Oh, and it had
Emilio
Sheen
Estevez.
and Emilio Estevez in it.
Was it Sheen? I know Emilio
That was about
Estevez.
Deep Throat. That was not about Behind the Green Door.
No, it was about Behind the Green Door.
You sure?
Matt. You know, if I'm pretty sure of something, Matt. I don't think I'm going to argue about anything, Matt. If I'm pretty sure about it, I won't argue about it. All right, I'll argue about it.
You know, I would have expected you to actually put on a voice when you did that instead of just talking in your normal voice.
You know what? You, sir, are a cocksucker. Shut the fuck up! It's Behind the Green Door. Emilio Estevez, for sure. Charlie Sheen was with me, Emilio Estevez in Men at Work.
Yes.
Were there garbage men?
Yes.
What was that?
That was me clapping because that's one of the things they do in that. There's a very famous thing where the two of them are sitting there and they're doing like a golf clap.
Oh, okay. Not familiar.
Okay.
I've only seen it once, and it was probably 30 years ago.
But he's watching Behind the Green Door, and he drives off the road.
Yes.
And the Sheik is pulled over.
Right.
And he says something about buying California.
Yeah. And then he peels out of there, and the cops refer to him as a camel jockey.
Once again, not a good look.
No, it's not. And then the TPT guys, the tiny penis truck, they're pretending that the cops are trying to pull them over, and they're saying, we got no brakes. And then what happens?
Their brakes go out.
They have no brakes, and they do this jump across the train.
Yeah, basically through a flatbed section of a long train.
Correct.
Probably a lot of planning for that stunt, but honestly, not anything
impressive.
That great.
No. Yeah. We probably saw something better than that with the Fall Guy.
The A-Team, sure.
No, do you remember the Fall Guy?
Yeah.
His GMC, I think, was that a Sierra? Do you remember what he had? What was special about that truck?
No.
He had...
Whisper mode?
a little compartment where he could put his bounties behind the back seat.
I don't know if I ever saw the Fall Guy. I know what it is.
Come on, Lee Majors and Heather... It wasn't Heather Locklear. Heather... Gar...
No, I know who you're talking about.
Heather something. God damn it.
No, it wasn't Heather something. It was...
No.
You're sure?
I'm pretty sure it was Heather.
Okay.
Because there were two Heathers that I really, really liked. One was Heather Locklear. The other one was... Not Terry.
Heather Thomas.
Heather Thomas. There you go. Yeah.
Okay. But the motorcycle is still doing a wheelie, and then Jackie Chan's car accidentally enters a race with a bunch of dune buggies.
Right. And they get stuck in the sand, and what do?
They arm the rocket.
Right. They launch. It's across the sand dune. Now everybody is stuck at some road construction.
But this is the other stunt that impressed me, because that was a practical effect. That was a car they actually launched through the air like that.
Sure.
But yeah, everybody stopped. And what was it, a landslide?
I don't even know. At this point, I was like, God, just make this movie be done.
Yeah, at the halfway point, I was going to turn it off. And Jen's like, just power through. Just power through.
Yeah.
But as they're all stopped, Dean Martin confronts JJ. And then JJ says something racist to Sammy Davis Jr. Yeah.
What does he say?
He calls Sammy like a black midget or something.
Oh, wow.
It's something bad.
Okay.
But Dean Martin's drunk, and he makes fun of Victor's weight. And then there's a missed opportunity here where JJ says to Dean Martin, I'm going to shove those rosary beads up your nose.
Correct.
Why? Why would he go with nose?
I was half expecting him to say, shove them up your ass.
Yeah. And then pull them back out. That's the way you're supposed to do it.
Right.
But the motorcycle is finally not doing a wheelie, and a shitload of bikers roll up.
Correct.
And with them is who?
Peter Fonda.
Best known for...
Don't tell me. It's with Jack Nicholson. Empire Strikes Back. Easy Rider.
There you go.
Easy Rider.
I was going to say Uli's Gold, but and there is a big fight here, and I swear to God, I thought it was the guy who was the mechanic from the plane scene.
Yes! I did the same thing!
That is not him, because I was going to actually use him to link to my next movie.
I thought for sure it was Monkey Man from Raiders of the Lost Ark, and I IMDb'd him, and I'm like, nope, not him.
No, I was shocked that it wasn't him.
Yes. Oh, that's crazy that we both did the same fucking thing.
But he rips open Convey's jacket, and all the other racers are kind of debating whether or not they're going to help.
Right.
And then Fonda says he wants his ass, and then Captain Chaos jumps into the fight.
Right.
And at this point, basically everybody goes in.
But Captain Chaos, kind of a badass.
Yeah, I mean, I guess for movie fighting.
But, I mean, Dom DeLuise, you know.
He jumps on 8 guys and they're all knocked out.
Right. Yeah.
But
I'm saying, just for the movie, he holds his own.
And everybody's fighting except for Sammy doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
Sammy goes to make a phone call.
Right.
And because he wants to bet more. And the doc knocks out somebody who was about to hurt Dean Martin. And I said, JJ's still fighting Raiders guy.
Yeah.
But he gets knocked out with a wrench, which even more so thought tied directly into it.
Sure.
But now the road is open and everybody is running back to their cars.
Except for Jackie Chan. He's got to show off his stuff.
He wants to keep fighting. And then he does a double kick, or what would you call a split kick, and splits his pants.
Correct. Gotta pee.
Empty? What?
I gotta pee.
Oh, okay.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
And we're back. But the ambulance is being passed by everybody, and Chaos is no longer Victor, or Victor is no longer Chaos. And Beauty...
Hold on. We forgot a couple of things about the fight. Seymour, Roger Moore, says, I must warn you, I'm Roger Moore. And he gets smacked right in the face.
Yep.
And then one of the Lambo girls is basically getting dragged into a house by like 6 dudes. And
to get raped.
Straight up raped. And Captain Chaos cleans house.
Yeah, that's one of those times when he jumps on like a group of people and they all get knocked out.
Yeah. And then JJ's kicking some ass and he's like, give me somebody! And some guy jumps from the back.
Yeah, that's very tropey. That happens in a ton of movies. In the big fight scenes.
Yeah, and Dean Martin is having some issues with a guy, and the guy is from behind him, and all of a sudden he passes out, and
the doc gave him a shot.
Right, and Dean Martin asks him, "Is that good to drink?"
And then he shoots it into his mouth.
Correct. And the road opens up, and everybody scrambles for their vehicles, and that's where Jackie Chan then shows off, and that's where he splits his pants. And there's a mad dash. And they're like in the desert.
Right, but it's only 10 blocks to the finish.
Correct, and now they're by the ocean.
Yeah. And all the cars are converging, and Seymour has a different girl. And who does she think that he is?
Oh, the guy who's in the
Gay Blade?
Thornbirds. No.
Yeah, George Hamilton.
Oh, I was thinking, who's the guy that was in the Thornbirds?
Oh, Dustin Diamond. Yeah, no, that's not him.
Why do you have that on your platform, by the way?
What, Saved by the Bell?
No, Thornbirds.
Why do you think?
I don't know.
Jen.
Seriously?
Oh, yeah, she specifically said she wanted to watch the Thornbirds, so.
Oh, my God. Okay, hey, can you get the Winds of War for me?
Herman Woke? Which book? Book 1 or book 2?
With Robert Mitchum. and Jan Michael Vincent.
Yeah, his life took a kind of a rough turn. You know, he lost like most of his limbs before he died.
Seriously? What, from diabetes?
I believe so, yeah.
Wait, what? Diabetes?
Diabetes. Yeah, I don't have that on the reg.
Okay.
Richard Chamberlain.
Richard Chamberlain. Yes, there you go. Okay, yes. No, yeah, George Hamilton, the gay blade.
But they all stopped, and there's a foot race to the finish line, and JJ tackles a crowd, and Captain Chaos is in the lead, and he's going to win. He's going to get to the finish line first, and he gets distracted by a screaming woman.
My baby is drowning. My baby is drowning. And he jumps in. Da, da, da. And what is the lady's baby?
It's a dog.
Yes. And the Lambo girl wins, which, if you were doing it by the card.
Wait.
What? Okay.
This is why the end of the movie doesn't make sense. Let's rewind a little bit.
Everybody is going to get a card like this. When you leave, you're going to punch out here at this time clock. 3,000 miles roughly away from here is another time clock just like that at the Portofino Inn. The difference between the two times is your time across the country.
Yeah. And do you know what the time difference is between when the girls leave and when JJ and Victor leave?
7 minutes, 8 minutes.
It's several minutes.
Yes.
And so they definitely could have won. And there's other people that left after the girls that could have won.
Right.
So, yeah, that's the thing that doesn't make sense. But he's no longer Chaos. He is now...
Well, hold on. JJ's belittling him.
Yeah.
And that's when he turns into Captain USA. Everybody cheers. Hooray!
Yeah.
Captain USA. And I'm thinking, God, this is fucking stupid.
And Foyt is there.
Mm-hmm.
And Foyt takes a cigar from Seymour.
Yes. And he says, hey, use my lighter in my vehicle. And he looks over, nothing happens, and Foyt is sitting there in the passenger seat, puffing away.
And Seymour goes and he gets in the car, and he hits the cigarette lighter, and he's launched by an ejection seat.
Yes. Ejaculation seat.
Yeah, there you go. And then there's a dumb song at the end.
Mm-hmm.
And we get Hal Needham staple.
A blooper reel.
Funnier than the movie was the blooper reel.
We both have problems with that word, don't we?
Yeah. It's so...
Yeah.
This may sound silly to you, but kids go completely ape if you do three things in a picture. Defy authority, destroy property, and take people's clothes off.
Yeah, 2 of 3.
Did the movie hold up for you?
No.
Would you recommend it?
No, I would not. How about yourself?
No.
Yeah.
No. Any last thoughts on the movie?
It was bad. You know, when I picked this movie, I kind of figured it was going to be bad, but there's a nostalgia factor. And sometimes the worst movies make the best podcasts.
Yeah, that's not going to be the case, I don't think. But yeah. No.
No, you don't think so?
I blame Lawn Chair for this, honestly.
You do? It is his fault, the cocksucker.
No, Jen and I were talking about this, and this is our 66th, I think, podcast. So figure including TV shows and blah, blah, blah. It's about our 60th film. This is the worst one.
You think so?
Oh, yeah. And I don't think it's even close. Jen disagrees. She says this is better than Conan. So,
you know what?
Yeah. She's got to go to the Dick Buffet.
Load up that plate at the Dick Buffet. Conan is awesome, man. That hurts my feelings. Really, it does. Conan is a good movie. No, it's not a good movie. It is a grade A fucking kick-ass movie. So yeah, watch What you watching? All right, you go first. I go first.
I'll go first.
Okay.
So, trying to get through Kath and Kim. Continued to watch.
Why? Why are you This is the 4th week in a row that you are
and I only watched like 5 minutes of it. So
okay.
Lilyhammer, I'm almost to the end of season 2.
Lilyhammer?
Yeah.
Okay.
Longmire, almost through season 2 of that as well.
Mm-hmm.
I watched the first Austin Powers.
Oh, you know what? We almost watched that the other night.
It's not bad. It's entertaining.
The thing is with the Austin Power movies, and I think I've mentioned this before in a previous podcast, there are pop culture references that don't hold up.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Yeah.
Big Brother is on 3 nights a week, so I've been watching that.
Uh-huh. Okay.
I watched 4 of the 6 episodes of Heist, which is on Netflix, and it's 3 separate 2-part series about different real-life crimes.
Okay, so it's a documentary.
It's a recreation.
Okay.
It's interesting. It really is.
Okay.
I watched a couple episodes of Drain the Oceans, which is a National Geographic show.
Yeah, that's solid.
Yeah. I only can hear them say, and we will pull back the curtain on the Atlantic Ocean so many fucking times.
Okay.
And I watched the first couple episodes of The Bad Batch.
Okay, what do you think? What's your opinion?
I can see where it can go wrong.
Okay.
2.5 episodes in, I've liked it. I think that if I was not aware of a couple things, there are things that would not make as much sense to me.
Okay.
Especially in the second episode where they go and they visit another clone who had been a deserter.
Mm-hmm.
If I had not seen his episode of the Clone Wars, that wouldn't make as much sense to me.
Okay. So I did not watch all the Clone Wars. So thinking back, I think it plays well without having watched the Clone Wars.
Okay.
Now Rebels, I will say, is that are you done?
Yeah, I'm done with things I'm going to mention, yeah.
With watching.
Yes, that's the last one. But Bad Batch was the last one.
Okay, so yeah, I'm all caught up on the Bad Batch, and the last 2 episodes have been
Rebels heavy, yeah.
Yeah, heavy Rebels. Well, the first episode too, with Kanan.
Yeah, and I think that is another one where, and with what I was talking about, I want to see where it goes, is because there's 2 elements that are kind of 2 episodes in. There's the female clone girl, like young girl, where that's going to go, and there's also, was it Crosshair? Is it Crosshair or Bullseye? Crosshair.
Crosshair.
I'm assuming he's obviously going to come back, and he eventually is going to have his inhibitor chip removed or something. I'm guessing.
Not yet.
Okay. Well,
Not yet.
Spoilers. Thank you. But I want to see where it goes, and I wish that it took place more like a longer trail over a shorter time, because it started right at Order 66.
Mm-hmm.
And I wish that part lasted a little bit longer, and that ended almost immediately. So now we're just in the Empire era.
Right.
And I wish it was kind of like the Fallout period a little bit longer.
But it's kind of cool to see what is happening with the clones in the...
I'm waiting to see like the helmets change.
Yeah. We haven't gotten to that yet. But the last 2 episodes, really, really solid. This last episode, really solid.
Actually, I gotta step back. I do have one other thing.
Okay.
I did just get Disney Plus.
Mm-hmm.
So I was kind of like, that's where I watched Drain the Oceans.
Okay.
But I watched some of the Mandalorian behind the scenes documentary stuff.
Okay.
That's really interesting.
Oh yeah,
the tech behind it.
Yeah. So yeah, we've talked about that on this podcast, and you were not familiar with it. I should I should let everybody know I'm into beer 3, and I did not have dinner, so I'm stumbling a little bit.
And this is a short podcast, but still, yeah, I get it.
Yeah. Yeah, the whole shit with the room full of screens, super cool, man.
Yeah, what is it called? Not the Vault.
It's been a long time since I've seen that, and I'll probably maybe even go back and watch it again. Have you watched the one with the music?
No, I didn't. I watched a couple of them, and then I watched the walkthroughs that they have of the spaceships, which really was. I watched that one too. Very underwhelming.
Yeah, I agree. Can I continue?
Yeah, absolutely.
You so interrupted me. Oh, fuck off. Okay. Yeah, so I'm caught up with the Bad Batch, digging it.
Oh, Black Monday. I caught up on Black Monday as well.
All right. Okay. Caught up on Loki. The season has ended. It was very underwhelming. and there's been some complaints that the finale was underwhelming. And
That's surprising. I've heard that Loki is the gold standard for...
It is good. It was good, but like I said, I mean, they've obviously set it up for a second season. But the final episode was... You're expecting the big bad to be a big bad, and he wasn't. So, I guess we'll see where that takes you. I finished up my second viewing of Southland on HBO.
What's that? You've never mentioned that before.
Yeah, shut up. And when I went camping, our camping buddies, he's a lieutenant on a local police station. And I asked him, I'm like, hey man, have you ever seen Southland? He's like, dude, I've watched it like 3 times. I'm like, so what are your thoughts? He's like, that is the most accurate depiction of policing in the United States in the big city. Okay, it's okay, impressive. If you can tell me that, then I definitely have not wasted my time. I had mentioned I started watching the first couple of minutes of The King of Staten Island with the
douchebag from Saturday Night Live. Yeah,
yeah, it's really good, and it's got Bill Burr and the amazing Marissa Tomei, which she's kind of made to look a little bit frumpy, but she's still a hot piece of ass.
I'm sure you've seen The Wrestler.
Yeah.
And Before the Devil Knows You're Dead.
Mm-hmm.
First scene is that fat guy from the Hunger Games railing her.
Philip Seymour Hoffman?
Yes.
Okay.
Probably not the best way to describe a guy who's dead, but still.
Sure. My boys and I, we watched Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. And then the next night we watched Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skulls.
Okay.
Both are cartoonishy. There are things that happen in both of them that are just too much of a coincidence. Like Marcus Brody getting tossed in the back of a truck in Marrakesh. That it just happens to be a Nazi truck that looks like a doorway. It's like, come on. Don't get me wrong. It's Indiana Jones. It's like Star Wars. It's like sex. Even when it's bad, it's still pretty good.
Okay.
Okay. I understand the Kingdom of the Crystal Skulls. It's... What's the... pulp? Come on, help me out here. The Saturday morning...
Serials?
Serials. Yeah, where it's goofy and it's silly. And if you read some of the old Indiana Jones comic books that came out after Raiders of the Lost Ark, it is very much like that. It wasn't horrible. It wasn't great, but it wasn't horrible. And I would even consider watching it again. And he looks old in that. I can only imagine what the next Indiana Jones movie is.
They're de-aging him for the new one.
Okay. All right.
And it's singular. It's Skull.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Crystal Skull. Okay. All right. And then last night, as I had too much whiskey, like I had mentioned before, I lie down in bed and I started watching Master and Commander.
Okay.
That is in my top 10. Slow as fuck, but goddamn is it good. So detail-oriented.
That was supposed to be a series.
It was, because it's based on a series of books. And I do believe that Master and Commander is book 3 or 4, or they smush a couple of them together. But, yeah, there's been some criticism by millennials that, it moves so slowly. Yeah, it moves slowly, but man, it's so good.
It's been compared to Wrath of Khan a lot.
Okay.
Because they both are actually naval battles.
Mm-hmm.
Because even though it takes place in space, the battle between the Enterprise and the Reliant is very much a naval battle.
Yes, and that movie, I went to go see that with a girlfriend, and that was our last date before I got engaged to my missus.
Okay. Did you have to go find her because she had your cell phone in her car?
That was like I think it was that night. Yes. Yeah, we had sex before we went to the movie, went and saw the movie, and then went out with some friends, and that's when I broke up with her, that same night. God damn. Okay.
Okay, so my turn, so...
Doug's got
Oh, shit, wrong one, sorry.
Matt's got a question for Doug.
What does justice mean to you?
Justice?
And the reason I ask that as you ponder that question is
Okay.
Bill Cosby is suing the state of Pennsylvania for time served under his prosecution that got thrown out. And there's been a lot of things that have been bandied about whether or not what happened with him is justice. And that's why I want to know, what is justice to you?
Okay, so, I mean, that came up very early on in this podcast when we were talking about what are you up to, and I went on my, 10-minute rant about
Baseball?
Baseball tournament, and the coach, who is a douche canoe, like I said, I feel bad for the kids because I know a lot of those kids. A lot of those kids are in scouts, or I've volunteered at school and been around a lot of those kids. The fact that he got shot down by one of his coaches, this has been something that I think has been building up all season long with this guy, the fact that we could hear what was going on the other field, that he was, hey, this is a playoff game, and I'm gonna double my intensity fivefold. Double. That did not make
I'm
any
going to
sense.
double my intensity fivefold. I don't know how the math on that works out, Doug.
No, we're using Al Gore math, right? That was justice served on that guy. That he got that his other coach who shot him down and then shut him up, and then they lost. That was justice for that guy, not for those kids. Timothy McVeigh, justice on him getting executed for doing what he did.
Okay.
Bin Laden, justice served, but it was quick, double tap to the head. But I also think that with Bin Laden, there were probably many dozens of other players that were just as significant that did not have justice served.
Okay.
Bill Cosby, I don't know, man.
See, you're approaching justice as a tool or a lens for the aggrieved.
Okay.
And that is a valid point. And I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying you are framing it around the people who were wronged. But justice, to me, is not just about the people who were wronged, but it is all-encompassing.
Okay.
And because of my particular job I had at the time, I watched pretty much almost all of the O.J. Simpson trial coverage.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw everything. I saw the almost decapitated body. I saw all the different evidence. And I remember I was having a conversation with the main anchor at the station I worked at about this before we were going to the news one night. And it was right after he'd been found not guilty. He'd been, acquitted. And I said that given what I know, what I saw, I would have found him not guilty as well as a juror, even though I'm fairly certain he did it, because in my opinion, doesn't mean it's true, in my opinion, they tried to frame a guilty man. They tried to gild the lily. They tried to introduce evidence that they had planted to make it even more obvious that he had done it.
Okay.
And it doesn't matter who you are entitled to your rights. And that's easy to say as somebody who's not the aggrieved party. But like in a case like Cosby's, the fact that he was denied his Fifth Amendment rights means that justice was served when he was released. That might not have been justice for the aggrieved for the people that he allegedly raped, but it was justice as a whole.
You mean killed?
He didn't kill anybody.
You said raped.
Yeah, he raped people. I changed to Cosby. I said Cosby.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about.
I switched to Cosby. I'm sorry. I don't know. I thought I said that. And it's not an easy answer, but people they don't realize that when they look at a case on an individual basis and they say, well, this happened, so therefore we need to do that. That sets precedent. And the precedent is going to apply to everybody. Mm-hmm. Somebody like an OJ or a Cosby or a Weinstein or whomever that has the money is going to be the beneficiary of good lawyering. For somebody that does not have the ability to do that, they need to have the precedent set where there are those protections for everybody, not just for the people who are victims, but also for the people that are accused. Mm-hmm. And for me, justice should be about truth. But beyond truth, it's about fairness and rights.
Okay. I mean, what there really needs to be is, I think there needs to be a group of people that could come together. Some of them, possibly may have special powers, and they would form a league and, prevent injustices from occurring.
Okay. Are any of them have the mothers are named Martha?
Perhaps.
Okay.
Yeah. One of them, they may have an invisible jet.
Yeah, I saw this great cartoon, and it wasn't the original one. It was like the original one that somebody had changed, like the thought bubbles to, or the speaking bubbles to.
Okay.
And it was Wonder Woman and some other woman, and Wonder Woman was leaving, and the other woman she was with had like Wonder Woman's golden lasso, mm-hmm. like around her hand, and she was turning it back over to Wonder Woman as she was leaving. And what does a Wonder Woman's golden lasso do?
Makes you tell the truth.
And Wonder Woman said, "Thank you very much. What are you going to do?" And the woman said, "I'm going to go home and masturbate thinking about you."
Nice.
All right. So, ready for...
I'm so excited, and I just can't hide it. 3 degrees to next week's movie, and I think I like it.
There was one thing about the movie this week that we should have mentioned earlier that we didn't. Okay. There is one thing that is unique about this movie that is not true about any other movie we've done to date. Do you know what that is?
Blooper reel?
No, this movie was not available anywhere.
Oh.
I mean, not on Netflix. You couldn't even rent this on Amazon. It's just not available anywhere.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize that.
So this week's movie is actually available on HBO Max.
Okay.
So that's a nice change.
Uh-huh.
There's an easy path and a hard path. Which one do you want?
Ooh, do the hard one first.
Okay. Dom DeLuise plays Victor in this week's movie. He plays Aunt Kate in Haunted Honeymoon. Peter Vaughn plays Francis Abbott Sr. in that film. Vaughn plays Winston the Ogre in next week's movie.
Who's Peter Vaughn?
He played Francis Abbott Sr. in Haunted Honeymoon.
Vincent the Ogre?
Yes.
Oh, shit.
Winston the Ogre.
Winston the Ogre. I don't know. Okay, do the easy one.
Roger Moore plays Seymour in this week's movie.
Mm-hmm.
He plays James Bond in For Your Eyes Only.
Okay.
Desmond Llewellyn plays Q in that film.
Okay.
Llewellyn plays Q in Diamonds Are Forever.
Okay.
Sean Connery plays James Bond in that film.
Okay.
Connery plays King Agamemnon in next week's film.
King Agamemnon?
Agamemnon.
I don't know.
I'll give you a hint.
Okay.
Somebody with a beautiful penis is going to be very happy.
Oh, fuck! Are we doing Time Bandits? Time Bandits. Oh, God. Okay.
And it has nothing to do with the fact that he said that he wanted us to do it. It was already on my list.
Okay. All right. Okay. Have you watched it?
I'm afraid to.
Okay, yes, it's not. It's interesting. It has its good parts. It has its bad parts.
We've been serving up a bunch of shit burgers in a row.
Yeah. Okay, wow, that's going to be really, really fucking hard for me to link my next movie. Sean Connery. Okay, all right. I will do my best.
Oh, no, you can go through. It's actually not hard because anybody you can do through any of the Star Wars films you can do.
Well, Warwick Davis is not in it.
Yeah, he is.
Warwick Davis is in Time Bandits.
Pretty sure. No, not Warwick Davis, but the other ones are.
Kenny Baker is in it.
Yes, Kenny Baker's in it.
Okay, yeah, that's right. Kenny Baker is in it. Okay, all right, Time Bandits. We're going to see a giant syringe go into a giant's head while he's got a boat on as a hat.
Yeah, I'm a little worried. I was almost thinking it's like, is that
Jen is going to be
this?
like, Jen is going to be like, what the fuck is this?
Okay, so go ahead and bring us on.
Okay, hey, everybody. Thanks for listening. We really appreciate it. You want to do a favor for the podcast? Tell one person. That's it. All 40 of you that are listening right now, if you told one person and then they listened, then we'd have like 80 listeners, which would be kind of cool if we had like 80 and then those people would tell, and we could get over 100, I guess. Right?
Math, yeah.
Yeah, math. Math is hard. Hey, if you want to reach out to the show, you can find us on Facebook, Betamax Rewind with Matt and Doug on Facebook. Or if you want to email the show, betamaxrewind@yahoo.com. We really appreciate you being here. We really do. Yeah, that's about all I got.
All right, so we'll see you next week for Time Bandits. Well, actually, 2 weeks.
Matt's emphysema was kicking in. Yeah, next week.
Was it really?
Yeah, it was a little bit. I could hear your emphysema.
I don't think so.
You gotta put that CPAP machine on. Okay. How are you gonna do your CPAP machine with no electricity next weekend?
Life finds a way.
Okay, you got a battery.
Yeah, there you go.
You're gonna have a car battery hooked up next to your bunk bed.
I'm gonna hook it up to the Jeep.
The Jeep. Okay. There you go. All right. Hey, that's it, man. That's good night.
McClunky.